Peekaboo.
Oh,
Are you deadheading?
yeah. Here we are again.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Pretty Little Garden. In today's video, I am at my mom's garden today, and I'm going to be helping her redesign her front yard bed, right?
Sounds good.
So let's take a look. Okay, Mom, so we are at the front of your house, and I'm just going to take a walk over here. How long have you been at this house, Mom?
Let's see, since 2010.
Since 2010.
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful house with beautiful landscaping. It's changed, right, since...
Oh, definitely. Actually, we had stone when we first moved in, and I wanted to change it to mulch, which we did.
Yes.
And just this year, I wanted to go back to the stone because
why
I felt
did you
it would be easier to take care of.
Yeah, a little less maintenance.
Yes.
Maybe a little less problems with weeds, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, so you had your garden bed switched over to stone just in the springtime, right?
Yeah.
You had that done. And now you did have this bed filled at one point.
It was filled. But
you ran into some...
like 3 or 4 other shrubs, and they, started dying off the last couple of years. So we had to pull them.
Yeah.
In the spring. And now you can see in the back, I think that's being affected.
I see that. Is
that
a boxwood or is that a yew? Let's take a little bit.
I'm not sure.
Closer look here.
And my hydrangea, oh my gosh, it was going really well.
I was going to say that
a couple
look,
years.
Yeah.
And I'm so disappointed now. I used some fungicide on it. And we pruned it, and maybe, I wasn't supposed to prune it.
It depends on what kind of hydrangea it is, because if it is a hydrangea that blooms on old wood, which I think this one was, I want to say, do you remember what kind it was, Mom?
No, I'd have to look it up. I do have.
You have the information?
All the information, yeah.
Maybe we can find it, it doesn't have to be today, but if it was a hydrangea that bloomed on old wood, that would mean... I
shouldn't have been pruning it.
Well, when did you prune it? Did you prune
2 years ago.
In the springtime, or did you prune it in the fall?
I did fall.
Okay, so if you pruned it in the fall, you may have pruned off the buds for that season. Because when it blooms on old wood, it means it sets its buds on the wood from the previous season.
Oh, okay.
So in the springtime, when it bloomed out, it already set the buds for next year. So in the fall, if you clipped it, you may have clipped off those buds that were set for next year.
I'm sure I did. I pruned it right down.
Yeah, that's okay. We have all made that mistake before, right? But that's okay.
Yeah.
Actually, Mom, it should... Was this last year you did that?
I think 2 years ago.
Okay, so see how it did bloom for you a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
I bet you it'll come back around. I bet you next season will be better.
Okay.
So, but we'll keep an eye on that. You want to keep... Now, whatever's left in this bed, you want to keep, right?
Well, I don't know.
Or you're not...
See,
oh, yeah,
I'm
so you've got these here. Yeah, these don't look great.
No, they don't.
No, I would get rid of those.
When I talked about getting rid of them this spring, the person that was working with Max, said, leave it for 1 more year.
Okay. Yeah.
But
these are yews.
If you look.
Yeah, you can see it's kind of split in the middle.
Right.
And I think part of that, to be honest with you, is it doesn't get sun.
No.
In this
shade and very cool.
Yeah. So the sun rises. The front of your house is the west side, right? So, and the back of your house would be the east side, where the sun is coming up. So you should get some
afternoon.
Yeah, some sun in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But obviously not enough to make that happy.
No.
Right? Okay. So we might want to consider... I think we will get rid of those 2 boxwood, or those 2 yews.
And you think I should leave the hydrangea?
It depends on how you feel. I think what you could do even is take that out,
transplant it.
relocate it somewhere.
Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And if we want to start fresh with something else here,
I'd rather do that.
yeah, you don't have to get rid of it, because I
Right.
think even if you put it in a pot and put it on your back patio,
Okay.
I think until you knew maybe a spot you
Where I
wanted to put it. Okay,
Mhm.
so how do you feel about this boxwood?
Well, I think it looks healthy.
Yep, I think it's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the look of the boxwood?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that gives it kind of a formal touch to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which I think is really beautiful. Do you like the positioning of that boxwood, where it's
Where
at?
it is? Yeah.
See this dead space right in here?
Yeah.
We can definitely put something there.
Okay. Just to fill it in. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. But that boxwood's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Now the other one I've been trying to bring back to life.
This little one.
See this little one?
Yeah, you can see how one's bigger.
Yeah, the growth was stunted. I mean, it started out like this one.
Mm-hmm. The other option could be, Mom, we could take this little one out because it's uneven.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure what's going on in this bed. It seems that like something's happening, right? That they're not happy.
Right.
But we're not sure what that is. But we could even bring this boxwood over here to match this one.
Oh, okay.
If we wanted to.
Right.
And then
do you think it would take or just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I would look up any tips on how to transplant, but that would be so easy just to dig that up and put it right there. And it seems like it's the same size as that one.
Yeah, it does.
But again...
Actually, they were all the same size.
Were they? Yeah. All with your approval, though. And if you like that one there, we can keep it there.
No, I'm looking for your suggestions too, Jen. Make it look...
If you wanted to fix the problem of the uneven, because they're uneven right now. Now, we may put this one there, and then we'll have to watch it and see how it does. Right. But do you know what I mean, though? And then we could start over in that corner with something else if we wanted to. Yeah. These are just suggestions.
Let's do that.
Suggestions, right? And then, I mean, I'm looking here, Mom. What are your... desires, if any, for this front bed? Like, you can name some plants or shrubs that you would like. You can talk about how, anything that you think about when you look at this bed.
I like color. I like changing colors with the seasons, like, so it's not, it blooms in the spring and then it goes.
And then that's it. Yeah.
Right.
You like some...
I would like it.
Interest for... more than just a season.
Right. It comes down starting in the spring, and then something else blooms early summer, then late summer, then fall.
Yes.
And I don't really have a particular plant in mind. I wish I did, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I had sketched something out, and I looked at it this morning, and I thought, okay, well, I would change a little bit of it now that I look at it again. But my original thought was to have some type of tall, skinny,
in the background,
arborvitae on
each side of the bay.
On each side of the bay window in those little nooks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then right underneath your window here, I guess I was thinking boxwood. Okay. Like you could do 1, 2, 3, whatever fits in there evenly.
Okay.
Then to layer it in front of the boxwood, I would do hydrangeas. Okay. And we can talk about like what type of hydrangea. And obviously you don't want a big hydrangea that's going to grow up and cover.
Right.
We want something like, well, yes, but we want something that's not going to grow too big and overshadow what's behind it. And then I guess I'm just thinking, let's layer it. And then in front of the hydrangea, I'm thinking either lavender or nepeta, which is catmint. And that's a purple blooming plant. I can show you photos.
Okay. Do you have one?
I have catmint in my yard in the front next to the daylilies.
All right. Oh,
but I also have lavender.
All right.
That's done well in my yard, but I know some people struggle with lavender, so I'm not quite sure how that would how that would do in your yard.
I love the idea of the layering.
I am just cutting in here to add some additional comments that you know, I kind of wrote down and came up with after I came home from my mom's. So I think that layering, and I'm just looking down at my notes here that I made, layering is a good idea here. That's going to be key in the front. But there are some issues that are going to be challenging. And I think the first one is sun exposure. I think we did realize that that bed got more shade than sun. We have to take that into consideration. I mentioned those tall, skinny arborvitaes on either side. I still think that's a decent idea as long as they don't interfere with her gutters, because that was kind of a narrow space, so I have to take that into consideration. I did look into, I just read a little bit about the Little Man arborvitae, and I will attach a picture, which is a narrow, very compact arborvitae that I think could work in those areas, but I'm still doing my research. So I want to mention that. And also I did rethink my hydrangea and boxwood option, and I do think it would be a better idea to put the hydrangeas first, because most likely they're going to get a little bit bigger than the boxwood, probably grow a little faster than the boxwood. And sometimes, you know, hydrangeas, depending on the kind, can be a little woody on the bottom. And I thought the boxwood in the front of the hydrangea would add a really nice touch. And I know my mom does like the boxwoods. So I did, you know, we did talk about that, and we are going to maybe switch. We are going to switch, you know, so we're going to layer with the hydrangeas first and then the boxwoods.
Yes. I think
that's key.
Really, yeah.
I also feel like on this corner, a globe blue spruce would look really beautiful. And I don't know if you have seen what those look like, but that's if we were to move this boxwood.
Okay.
The globe blue spruce is like just a really pretty trunk, right?
Okay.
And a ball of blue spruce on the top.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Well, actually, Layla's your neighbor. Now those,
yeah,
but it's a little bit. I mean, maybe
smaller
because,
than that.
Yeah, maybe because those are quite mature.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to see if I see any else in the. You see them. You see them kind of all over the place.
Right.
But it has more of a lollipop look.
Okay.
Okay. So we got interrupted by a phone call. So let's get back on our train of thought here. So yes, I was thinking possibly like a lollipop blue spruce would look nice if we moved that boxwood right here and then underplanted with something beautiful. Not quite sure what that would be yet.
Okay.
What are your thoughts so far, Mom?
I love it all, Jen.
Yeah? Okay.
You're a great designer.
Oh, you're being too kind.
No, I'm being honest. Just being honest.
No, I'm just, you know, I enjoy this, so I'm glad that you asked me to help you with this little project. So,
yeah. This will be my pretty little garden.
That we're going to turn it into Patricia's pretty little garden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
There be enough sun here, though?
Good question. Because what time is it right now? We've got
11 o'clock.
Okay, so 11 o'clock. It has. So this is things we have to pay attention to, right? Is when does the
full sun does not come back here? Maybe right here, but the whole that's probably. Oh gosh, that could be the full sun may be right here
in that strip.
Yes.
Okay,
but
I see what you're saying.
No.
Interesting. So that's another thing we have to consider is, see, here's the sun right up here, and it's 11 o'clock. So the full sun.
Yeah, see the house, you know, shadows it.
It shadows it. So that's challenging. So really you said it's just that front strip that gets the sun. Okay, so we have to be careful with our selection of, well, hydrangeas would do fine.
Well, that one did until a few years ago. It really did. And I think I brought it to its demise.
Yeah, well, except like I know the panicle hydrangeas, they tolerate full sun, but as long as it's getting maybe some dappled sun or a little bit amount of sun, that the hydrangea will do okay. The roses, we're going to have to think about that. But if we put one here, and one down there, they could catch that strip of sun.
Right.
Okay, we'll just have to see how it is.
I'll have to look to be sure this afternoon. And
we pay
sure,
attention.
I will.
Yeah, and even come out and take a couple photos if you wouldn't mind.
I will. Okay.
Like, you know, it's 11 o'clock now, say at 12.
Right, because you see this box here.
Yep.
And I think it actually extends.
Okay, it extends. That full sun will extend all the way down. Yeah. So we really have to be conscious of what we plant back in there. Now, another option too, back in there, they're not tall, but you can also dot some hostas in there. I don't know. How do you feel about hostas?
I like them as long as they don't overpower everything. You know, I tend to think, you know, they just get too large sometimes.
Okay, yeah, there's some really huge ones.
Right, but small miniature
There's mini hostas that are really sweet and cute.
Yeah, I think that would look
I have a type of mini hosta.
Okay.
It's called the blue mouse ears hosta in my yard. That could be a possibility too. Mom, I just have to... Some of the plants we are considering for this, you know, realizing that it's a shade bed, are hostas, but my mom doesn't like, you know, really big hostas. She doesn't have a big area that she's working with there. So I think some of the miniature hostas might look nice. I love my blue mouse ears hosta. I suggested that for her. And I know there's a few other varieties that we can look at as well. I think she does like coral bells or heuchera, and I suggested underneath the globe blue spruce that the cherry truffles heuchera would look beautiful underneath that, and I think that's a little miniature heuchera. It's not a full-sized heuchera, so that also could be an option. She also mentioned bleeding heart, so we can look at that as well. And I suggested maybe a fern of sorts that has, you know, different texture and a different color to it than the other things that, you know, we choose to plant around that could also be complementary. Mom, I just have to show everybody this.
Oh yes,
bed that I did the same
your
thing.
Handiwork.
Well, right, I did the same thing for you that I did in my yard, but yours really filled in. You know, mine did not fill in as good, but I think
this bed here I've had real
yes. I mean, you can see how it's just so lush,
expanded.
And, I mean, when I first planted these out, they were
tiny.
Yeah, and they had a lot of space in between them. But I think the difference in your yard to my yard with this specific combination was that mine was underplanted under a maple tree. So I think the maple tree
got a lot of shade.
Well, that, but also not as much. Well, maybe like less sun, but also the water factor. I think the tree was hogging a lot of the water, and maybe.
And Dad would put the sprinklers on it.
Yeah, so I've been pretty good about that too, but yours definitely liked this spot.
Yeah,
for sure.
Had a lot of luck with whatever I planted.
Yeah.
Actually, I had mums I planted in the fall, and they lasted a couple years, and then we had a terrible ice storm, and
a couple years ago, and they never came back after that. Right. Yeah. So, all right. Well, this is definitely going to be a fun project, right? So we have some ideas, right? So this is just kind of our before. This is our before.
Back underneath where the bay is, because it just seems
like it's
uneven. Right. But I'm thinking it needs more. Doesn't
more soil back there?
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely add some. How deep of the rock layer? That's not too deep. Like just to plant stuff. Because we're gonna have to move all the rocks out of the way, and then But when we come and rake that out, we can build it up, before planting.
Yeah.
With a bunch of, I'm even thinking a bunch of compost.
Okay.
And
there's, that black thing laid down.
Oh, you have the weed thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Weed barrier? I didn't see it in there, Mom. It's not over here.
I don't either now. I thought
and they may have ripped that up.
I thought he did that, but maybe not. Okay.
Did you ask him to put it down, or was it?
I thought he said he was going to. We had it in here, and maybe he pulled it up when he took the mulch out.
I'm just curious now.
I think he did.
Yeah, because I
think he did.
I don't see it anywhere, Mom. This is just dirt.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no. And you know what they say? I mean, like we have those in different areas of our house, but they say they're not that good.
Really?
Too. I don't know. Who knows? You know, I think it works sometimes in certain applications. But.
Now, I like those roses there.
Let's go look at those.
The front.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah, the knockouts. Are those knockout roses or no?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you like that color?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I have a rose exactly in mind that may look beautiful. Do you know what the name of this one is?
No, I do have the.
You have the tag.
Names, the tags.
Well, I do know
these bloom and bloom.
Yes, continuous.
All season.
I know you have cut some of these for me, and just looking at it, it looks quite disease resistant. I mean, the leaves look beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, you don't see any black spot.
These here, I have to. We cut those down, but they just.
It looks so healthy.
Start.
What is that?
I forget.
Next to you.
I should have brought my folder up with all the names.
It blooms a yellow.
Yeah, a yellow flower, but
maybe if anybody knows.
Too big.
Oh, look! Is this just one plant?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I think there's two.
There's two here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And it blooms a yellow flower.
Yeah.
Do you like this?
Yeah, it's okay.
So.
It's all right.
Well, that can be for another day, maybe addressing that. But so that's good to know. You like this shade. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do know what you mean by.
I like them because I can cut them all season.
You can. When does it start blooming for you? In June?
Yeah, I'd say late spring.
Yep. And it just carries on
carries on as long as I keep, pulling.
Through to the fall?
Yep.
And you prune it? Okay. I do know they have. There's one from Proven Winners. You know how they have those Proven Winners plants that are supposed to be really good? I think it's called the Oh So Easy red rose. And it's a very similar look to this. We can look it up and I can show you. And that might be one you're interested in too. Like if we can't find something exactly the same as this,
But see, this has full sun like all day.
Yes, I see what you're saying. So that could be an issue.
Yes, for the front.
That's why this does. It really likes this spot.
Yep.
We realized that the roses may not be a good option. My mom kind of paid attention to how the sun came over throughout the course of the day, and there really was not significant amounts of sun, even in that front area. That front strip where she thought maybe she would get that strip of sun. There really wasn't, I don't think, enough where roses would thrive. So, but I did think that, because my mom does love roses, that when we take out those sun patience and lemon coral sedum that's right by her lamp post, that may be a good idea, a good spot for some roses for her. And maybe those Proven Winners Oh So Easy red roses would look good in that area. I also want to just say, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. We're sort of, in the assessment phase, and, we're formulating a plan. So any input and suggestions that any of you might have are greatly appreciated. We would definitely consider those and take those into account, because I know a lot of you are gardeners as well, and I bet you some of you are quite experienced with shade gardens. So we appreciate any comments or suggestions.